The 2020 NBA season just ended, but all that means is that it's time to prepare for next season. The free agency class isn't that deep this year, which in normal environment would mean that someone who is average will get overpaid. But the world is normal nowadays, and thank God for some players who have player options that they will most likely exercise. Hey guys, hope you're happy and healthy. This is Purple Prince, and today we'll look at the 2020 NBA free agents who will exercise their player option. Let's start with Rodney Hood. Player option $5.86 million. In July of 2019, Rodney Hood signed a 2-year contract with the Trailblazers, 2 years, $11.72 million. For a team, it seems like a very good deal for a player who averages double-digit points for his career and stretches the floor. For Hood, it might have been a bit under the market value, but those are some good dollars for a player that wanted to prove his value before getting a bigger deal in the future. Things didn't quite work out for Hood. Just 21 games into the season, he ruptured his Achilles tendon, which is like the most devastating injury a basketball player can have. In a way, the delayed season end and the new season start helps Hood, as it gives him more time to fully recover. But there's no clear answer on how he will look when he returns to the court. Achilles injuries have ruined a lot of promising careers in the NBA and all around the sports, so instead of overthinking this whole situation, Hood most likely will just use his $6 million player option to stay with the Blazers and ease himself back into the NBA next season. Jabari Parker, player option $6.5 million. Long gone are the days when Jabari Parker was considered a can't-miss prospect. His offensive talent was why he was chosen as the second overall pick by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2014 NBA Draft. At just 25 years old, he's played for 5 teams, and in the last year alone he played for 2. The problem with him is his offense isn't good enough to overshadow his complete lack of defensive presence. He has some nice moves in the post, but that's about it. He tries, but he can't stretch the floor, he's not a good rebounder, and well, like I said, him guarding a certain player is like checking a box on who will be the highest scorer from opposition. He's that bad on defense. Last season, the Hawks signed him to a 2-year deal worth $13 million, and the last year being a player option. And even after averaging 15 points and 6 rebounds for them, he still got traded to Sacramento Kings. In Sacramento, he participated in only 6 games and was on the court for an average of 13.3 minutes. And now, with a $6.5 million player option in the pocket, he better use it before he has to settle for league minimums after this contract is over. Next one on the list, Tony Snell. Player option $11.5 million. 113 players last season made more money than Tony Snell, but 230 players were better in scoring. So even a bad mathematician as myself can figure out that Tony Snell was a bit overpaid. Okay, so he's not all about scoring, but he was also just 239th in defensive win shares, so that's not good either. On the positive side, he averaged 40.2% on his 4 3-point attempts, and he made 100% of his free throws, although he did just take 32 the whole season. Nevertheless, any way you look at him, he's just not that impressive, and other NBA teams aren't lining up for his services. The 4-year $46 million deal he signed with Milwaukee back in 2017 might just be the biggest contract he will ever get. Detroit will most likely stink next season again, so he will have a chance to play additional minutes and earn some dollars for the future. As of now, the $11.5 million player option is the best he can get. Kelly Olynyk, player option $12.5 million. So I know that Olynyk scored 24 points and grabbed 9 rebounds in Game 2 of the NBA Finals, and yes, he followed that effort with 17 points and 7 rebounds the next game. But throughout the whole playoff run, he averaged 7.6 points and 4.6 rebounds. Sometimes he didn't even get on the court. Kelly Olynyk is what he is. He is a backup center. That's who he'll always be. So now answer me. Is $12.5 million good if you play under 20 minutes per game? I think it's quite the dough for a player of his caliber. And again, if the world would be normal, some team in a desperate need of a stretching big could offer him more years at approximately the same amount, but this year isn't normal. He's in a good situation in Miami, he gets some playing time, he's in a great organization on a team which, as we just saw, is a contender. Add to the fact that he can carve in a cool $12.5 million next season, and I think the choice is clear here. Take your option, stay in Miami, enjoy next season. James Johnson, player option $14.4 million. I don't blame you if right now you're asking yourself, who is James Johnson? You probably remember him more from his Miami days. After all, that was the place where he signed that enormous 4-year, $60 million deal back in 2017. And that's the place he started last season before being traded to Minnesota. Overall, he played in just 32 games and averaged 8.4 points on 47.9% shooting. Probably one of the worst contracts in the league, will continue next season as well. It would just be stupid to decline $14.4 million for a chance of what? A bigger contract? No, not happening. There's not even a guarantee that some team would sign him. Okay, maybe that's going too far, but realistically, he won't get anything even remotely close in the open market. At this point, he's a deep rotational player who's making a lot of money, and it will stay that way for one more year. Nicolas Batum, player option $24 million. Speaking of bad contracts, the Batum one is in a whole nother league. Back when he still was a good overall player, he signed a 5-year, $120 million deal with the Hornets. And even then, it looked a bit too large of a contract for a player who averaged 15, 6, and 7. Well, the deal definitely doesn't look any better now. As a matter of fact, it looks downright horrible. His performance has been falling down every year and hit a new low last season when he played in just 22 games, averaged 3.6 points, and made $24 million. What a bang for the buck, huh? He probably could get a job somewhere else just based on his versatility, but he isn't a young gun anymore, and declining his player option would probably be the worst financial decision in the history of humanity. The Hornets should hope for it, but the chance of that happening is about as big as me becoming a USA president. Or in words of Vince McMahon, there's no chance in hell he declines it. Andre Drummond, player option $25.4 million. There was a time when a player like Andre Drummond was one of the best commodities a team could have. In this day and age though, he's kind of old news. He's great at what he does, which is mostly rebounds, but he can't stretch the floor, he can't hit a 3, and he can't even hit free throws consistently. His averages of 17.7 points and 15.2 rebounds suggest he should be paid, and he is being paid, but he's not a max contract player like he thinks he is, and that's a part of the reason why he was traded from Detroit to Cleveland, as they didn't want to pay his player option next season. Cleveland will have to do that. They knew it when they acquired him. As for Drummond, while this is a weak free agent class, the financial situation of teams isn't as good to warrant him a better money contract, so that's why he will stay with the Cavs and collect the paycheck that Detroit originally gave him. Otto Porter, player option $26.6 million. Washington likes to pay its players. I don't know why, but they just do. And yes, he was one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, but he got that money after averaging what, 30.4 points? Come on, Wizards, even you know better than that. So 2 years into his deal, he was traded to Chicago, where in 15 games he actually was pretty good, averaging 17.5 points on 48.8% of his threes. Last season, however, he played in just 14 games and averaged 11.9 points. He's a good shooter who gets paid like a superstar, but he's not even a star. Only in the NBA you get paid for what you're not, and he got paid, and good for him. So now it's his choice. Should he seek for a longer term contract, or should he just sit back, stay in Chicago, and earn $26.6 million? This should be a no-brainer. He's staying in Chicago, he's getting the money. DeMar DeRozan, player option $27.8 million. It's so easy to forget that DeMar DeRozan was once one of the best scorers in the league, like elite best. He's still good now, rummaging around top 30, but his contract was made for a guy who one day could maybe even lead the league in scoring. Well, time has gone by and he's still the number one option, just on a team that prefers team over individual stats. It was clear as day that when DeRozan got traded to the Spurs, his individual stats would suffer. His scoring did, but his overall game got much better. He actually rebounds now and sometimes even acts as a point guard. He's a deadly mid-range shooter, but the problem with him has always been his 3-point shooting. He just doesn't do it. He doesn't attempt 3-pointers, he doesn't like 3-pointers. He's effective in the most ineffective part of the game, long mid-range shots. And yes, he's very good at it, but one would wonder what would happen if he could step back just a couple of steps and get an extra point for his team. But waiting for that is like waiting for Ben Simmons to develop a jump shot. DeRozan would definitely get another good contract if he decides to opt out, but why would he? Can you go to a better situation, to a better coach, and get more than $27.8 million? That's doubtful. Just ride out your contract and see what's there for you next year. And last but not least, Gordon Hayward, player option $32 million. So this one's interesting. Gordon Hayward is a very good player. Right after signing his big 4-year $128 million deal, he suffered a gruesome injury in his first game as a Celtic. That was the end of the season for him. A year after his injury, he returned but wasn't himself. Additionally, there was a lot of drama in Boston, so that season was a wash as well. This season, he was a lot better. Not the 20+ point scorer he was in Utah, but definitely a good player and someone that is valuable for Boston. Considering his injury history, he should definitely take his player option, but it seems like he could be up for an extension with the Celtics. The Celtics would probably want to do it, but then again, why would Hayward decline his option to play more years for a lesser amount? Something is happening behind the scenes, but if there's no extension, Hayward should definitely use his player option before looking for better pastures next year. Okay guys, so these players in my opinion should and will exercise their player option. Do you agree with me? Who's the most overpaid of all these players? Which player maybe decides to test the free agency? Please leave your comment down below. Don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and please consider subscribing to the channel. I really want to get to those 10k subs. Thanks. This is Purple Prince, and I'm out.